Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I mentioned kind of haphazardly in a video a few weeks ago that when I was on my last cruise, the surgeon left a message for me to contact her when I get back to Ottawa. And so I did, and I spoken to her, and she basically wanted to give me some bad news and a huge kind of prepare yourself for this. Today's video is brought to you by Babbel. I love to travel around the world. I am going everywhere. I'm planning a new trip to Paris soon, and one of the things that I always want to do is to try and learn a little bit of the language of the countries I'm visiting, just so I can partake in just some everyday conversation, and that's where Babbel comes in. Babbel is one of the leading language tools in the world. What it will do is it'll make it simpler for you to learn a new language. One of the great things about it is you can learn at your own time. You don't have to sit in class for like 7 hours, 8 hours, and just it starts to fade in and out after a while. You get to sit and you can do things in like 10-minute increments and repeat them and do them as often as you need to until you grasp the language. And they have such a variety way of learning. Everything from games that you can play to the podcasts to teachings. There's just so many different ways. And wouldn't it be wonderful to be able to go to a country and just carry on conversations like, "Où est la chambre de bain?" Well, where's the bathroom at? Or if somebody asks you at your hotel how your room was, you could not, instead of saying, "Oh, my room was fine," you could actually answer back and say, "Mon chambre est très bien." It was beautiful. And that just goes to enhance your experience at the destination you're going to. Every little bit helps, and it shows great respect when you're traveling. Here's an example of repeating the words until you grasp it.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. That's simple. Hello.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Goodbye. Those are just some simple examples. And after learning those words, it'll help you to structure them into a full conversation. That's what I love about Babbel. I can do it at my own time, my own pace, and anywhere I have my phone and the app. You can even do it on the computer at home. So if you'd like to learn a new language like I do when I'm traveling to different destinations, why not give Babbel a try? You can follow my QR code here or follow the link down below and get up to 55% off your subscription. Thanks again, Babbel. It's always fun to learn a new language. So when I told you that I have a fantastic lung surgeon, I mean it. This lady has been wonderful. She's one of the most attentive surgeons I've ever had. In fact, a good friend of mine from my previous job where I used to work, who's retired now as well, just got diagnosed, and he was dealing with another doctor, etc. And then they set him up with a lung specialist for surgery, and he lucked out. He won the lottery. He got my surgeon that I had. And I told him that. I said, "You could not be in better hands. You definitely could not have lucked out any better in a choice of surgeons as far as I'm concerned." So that being said, she is so attentive that she wanted to give me a heads up. As I mentioned before, that on my lungs, after the surgeries, there was more spots on my right lung. Now, my right lung is the one that they had such trouble with that they had to actually cut my lung away from the wall of my chest because the previous surgeries, when they healed, they kind of melded into the wall of my chest. So that was actually hampering some of my breathing, and I didn't even realize it. So now they had, they cut my lung away from the wall and then continued with the surgery. The surgery was supposed to be about 2 hours, took 7. Lets you know how much longer they took to do this surgery. But there's two things that could be happening with those spots. One of them is there could be more spots and they're growing again, and which would mean another surgery or chemo or radiation, but probably surgery in these cases. And the other one could be that it could be residual marks from the actual surgery because of all the, cutting away from the wall of the lung, etc. It could just be stuff from that, which I'm hoping for, but, they always want to prepare you for, what could be there, etc., to get you in your mind. So when she contacted me and told me about this, she says, well, Don, you've had multiple surgeries now on both of your lungs, and these ones are in the spot, like the same kind of location as the last one, which means like there's less actual live tissue there that they can go in and reattach, kind of thing. You can't have dead tissue reattached. It doesn't hold, it doesn't stick, apparently, kind of thing. And because of the location and how much more lung they'd have to cut away, etc., she says there is a possibility that I would end up losing the lung. They would have to remove the whole lung completely. And she just wanted me to be prepared for that situation, to know what to do. Because in this situation, some people say, you know what? Nope, I don't want you to lose the lung. I'm going to go and try a whole bunch of other stuff first. Or, you know what? It's just not worth it at my age anymore to continue with this stuff. I'm just going to let nature take its course. That kind of thing, right? So she just wanted me to prepare. So when, we go for my next CT scans in December, they're going to be, I would be more prepared for the conversation if it's deemed that we absolutely need to go for surgery. So as you know, I'm not one to give up anyway. 10 surgeries in, still here, still fighting, still going strong. So am I going to, just say, nah, don't worry about it, doc. I'm not gonna, do whatever precautions I can. I'm just gonna let nature take its course from this point on. That's not me. That's not the kind of person I am. That's not what I want to do. So I would probably do whatever they say they can do. Now, if they don't have to remove the lung, terrific, right? That would be terrific. If they can do another surgery, she said she won't really know until they open me up and actually see. And also, they won't really know until the progression. They see what the actual progression has been in, the spots and how they're growing. Right now, they're the size of the tip of a pencil. That's how small the spots are. So that's why we have to wait 3 full months to see if they're growing, if they're still there, just the same size, and fingers crossed that's what they are. But yeah, it was scary news. When I'm listening on the phone, in my head, I'm trying not to panic, but I think I remain pretty darn calm considering the situation. And yeah, just something to think about. Let you know just how much I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If I have any more things on my bucket list, I better get ready to do them, because you never know how this stuff is all going to turn out. So, bucket list again. I got to do another safari. Another bucket list is I would like to do a large ship. Not what I mean by that is have a lot of people on one ship in a group. And even if that's a river cruise, I would like maybe in 2027 to do a river cruise in the summertime and just have almost the entire ship be people from the channel. I think that would be an amazing trip, an amazing time. And you can personalize a river cruise so much easier than you can personalize an ocean cruise, right? It's a smaller venue, everybody's involved, everybody can do the same excursions, they're all organized by the same cruise ship. It would be so much easier, and so I think would be a lot of fun. It's something I would love to do before I just can't do it anymore. So yeah, that's the news I got from my surgeon. And so if you think I'm going to be holding back on my travels anytime soon, you got another thing coming. So yeah, and again, I just want to thank everybody for all your support out there. Just wanted to give you a heads up because some people have messaged me and emailed me and said, hey, what did the surgeon say? You said you were going to talk to the surgeon. What did you say? I wasn't going to say anything until after my CT scan, but so many people have asked, I thought I better bring it out and let everybody know what's happening so far. And until next time, I hope you appreciate the update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.